Welcome to today's show where I'm going to talk about the Lego Batman movie sets and about the Justice League Anniversary Party in particular. And within all the Lego Batman movie sets, there is a lot to love, both as a kid, as a builder, as a collector, as an investor, because there are just so many sets. And this set in particular, I think, is really cool because mainly it has lots of minifigures and it doesn't come with another Batman, because you don't need another Batman. But before I get into the set more specifically, let me give a big shout out to my most dedicated watchers. Thank you very much to my watchers from Ukraine, Iceland, Hong Kong, Greece, and Venezuela. Now, those 5 countries have people who watched almost my entire last episode. Granted, there may have only been one view, so you know who you are. Thank you very much, but a big shout out to Denmark because they came in with, in the last 3 days, 15 views as a close 6th place. So thank you for watching my show in its entirety. I'm amazed. Anyway, so let's get into this set in particular. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? So let's zoom in. So number one, the biggest thing, the biggest highlight is, of course, you get all these minifigures. Now, technically, Wonder Dog isn't a minifigure. He is just a part, which seems a little offensive, but he does come with a cape, so I count him as a minifigure. So you have Hawkgirl, El Dorado, Superman, Green Arrow, and Wonder Dog, and they are all new printings, although there has been one other Green Arrow, and of course there have been lots of Supermans, but no Hawkgirl, no Wonder Dog, no El Dorado. So that, of course, is the highlight of the set. You also get this little dance party, and I think quite humorous, in fact, is that the records they're spinning are these little Batman records. Kind of funny, right? Since Batman wasn't even invited. But besides that, you get this dance stage, which almost looks as good in a Friends set as it does in a superhero set. And, of course, like I said before, there is no Batman. So you can get this set, add in all your cool minifigures, and you don't have to deal with another Batman. All right, well, that's it. That's your set. That's what you get here in the Lego Anniversary set. So let's go over some of the stats. So the price, again, is $30, and I'm just scared to look at the prices from other countries. I did take a glance. Wow. I know in the United States, for whatever reason, these little sets seem to be cheap, and elsewhere these little sets tend to be expensive. I don't know why. Complain to Lego. It has 267 pieces. It weighs just under a pound, which gives you a value of $34 a pound. It's not cheap. It's not really that expensive considering that you do get a lot of minifigures. It has a little box that's small enough to avoid dimensional charges and with a shipping class of 4 just because it's so short, but it's a short and long box. So really you're not going to be able to ship this for less than your 2-pound rate or your 1 kilogram rate. Its density at $218 per square foot is not very space efficient. And lastly, its retirement. I expect this to be a short set, short production run set, and it will retire this year in 2018. Why do I think that? Well, let's take a look at the Lego movie set data. So as you can see there, so there it is. What do you notice? Well, the first thing that you notice is that there are 3 waves of sets. There was the initial wave January 1st, there was a second wave of 3 sets on June 1st, and then another wave of 3 sets a year later on January 1st. All right, so these started in 2014. The last set came out in 2015. And what do you notice? Well, as we go on down the list, first let's highlight Ice Cream Machine, Tramper, and Castle Calvary. Those were the 2-in-1 sets. I thought they were pretty cool because they were 2-in-1s. You could like morph them into different cool things. They didn't last very long. All right, what about the ones at the bottom? The next set that didn't last very long, you have the Flying Flusher, you have the Creative Ambush, and you have the Rescue Reinforcements. Those were the store exclusives in the United States, and they also didn't last very long. And then you can see the next wave, the Constructomech, the Super Secret Dropship, Benny's Spaceship, next wave, and then finally the last wave with the Super Angry Kitty double-decker couch and the Bad Cop Car Chase. And you'll see some of them retired early after only a year, but all of them were done by the end of 2015. So none of them lasted really longer than 2 years. including the ones that came out a year later. They only lasted less than a year. So where are we in our production cycle of the Lego Batman movie sets? Well, let's take a look at that graph. And as you can see, we're on our third wave. We had a really, really big first wave, a big second wave, and a big third wave, but we are on the third wave, and Lego is predictable, even if it's that unpredictability, with exceptions, that unpredictability that can maybe have some interesting ramifications on investment collecting and all that sort of stuff. But in general, they are predictable. As you can see, it's following the exact same pattern. Initial wave, second wave, third wave. I expect this to be the last wave. The movie's been out on disc for a long time. It's fading out of our consciousness. All these sets I expect will be done by the end of 2018, including this one. So short availability. And you can see the 3 store exclusives there are still around. So they didn't retire after a year like the Lego movie sets did, but those 3 store exclusives are still around on the shelf. So they're all there. Will some fall off in the middle of the summer? Maybe, maybe. You gotta pay attention to see if you wanna get them. Are you gonna collect them all? There are an awful lot there. You'll end up with an awful lot of Batmans. But what's been so great about the Lego Batman movie? Well, as a builder, you have all these different cool things to build. As a collector, you suddenly have printings of all these crazy minifigures, superhero villains, that you never probably thought you would ever see in Lego. I mean, Egghead, Condiment King, Quilt Man, Polka Dot. I mean, it's just crazy, all these guys that have been printed. It's just been a bonanza of these cool superheroes for the collector. Now, what about the investor? What are you going to do? Well, let's take again a look back at those Lego movie sets. So let me throw that back up there. What of those Lego movie sets did really well? Well, really, they were generally a letdown. There wasn't too much there that actually did well. But let's take a look at a few. Those ones that retired early, the 2-in-1s and the store exclusives, did that give them a leg up on collectability, on value? Not really. What about those ones that were released at the very end? So you have those 3 sets, the Angry Kitty and the double-decker couch and the bad cop car. Those actually did better than the rest of them. But let me tell you, if you couldn't make money from the double-decker couch, then you are in the wrong business, because that was just a clear winner from the very, very beginning, regardless of availability. But overall, it's just, there hasn't been much there. One of the interesting things is if you look at the Constructo-Mech and the Benny Spaceship, you can see that they were both around at Lego for about the same amount of time, but that can be a little bit deceptive because that Spaceship was available in retailers forever. It was way overproduced. Constructo-Mech, not nearly so overproduced, not nearly available forever in retailers. Hard to really get on discount. There was a few clearance, but they went fairly quickly. Spaceship was around forever. So even though the graph shows that they have the same availability, in the United States at least, they did not have the same ability. And you can see that if you go and look at their values. Constructo-Mech is worth a lot more than Spaceship. All right, so how does that apply to the Lego Batman? Well, unless you're a really good, picker of the right minifigure or whatever, it is hard to differentiate all of these sets. One of the things that generally worked pretty well for me in the Lego movie was sticking to the smaller sets, sticking to the minifigure dense sets. Those seem to be a lot better. So what do we have out of this one? Small sets, you have the Balloon Escape, you have the Scarecrow Face Off. I don't know. You have the store exclusives, maybe, maybe not. I would stay away from some of the bigger sets. The bigger sets in the Lego movie just haven't done a whole lot. I really like this set, especially you're looking for 40% off, 20% off, maybe 40% off arm sweep all of these guys. The other one I really like, Egghead Mech, is just so crazy that might be a cool one, especially with its short availability. Bat Shuttle, again, it's getting a little bit pricier. That I think is a really cool set too. And it really has extra minifigures, even though they're just suits. You can drop Batman in them. So I really don't know, honestly. What are you going to do as an investor with these sets? Buy in. is all going to be about your buy-in. If you can get these things 50% off, like the last wave of Walmart clearance, even a lot of people are getting them 75% off, then you're going to be good. If you're only getting them 20% off, then I would just stay away. Just stay away. But cool set. I think it has a lot of value. When I first saw it as an investor, I actually thought, holy smokes, part this baby out. And actually, I just did a quick glance, and you actually still can make money on this set, even though it's been out for a number of months, parting this thing out. And the key, I think, is marketing our little dance stage there, because the people selling it right now, parting it out, are just selling it as the anniversary set. But you got to hit the friends. You got to get into the friends. Look at this thing. These records are actually super, super valuable. You know, they're worth a couple bucks a piece. And so you pop those guys out, put something else in there, market it as a friend's pop star as your keywords. There you go. I think you can still make money on this set parting out because it has enough cool figures in it. All right, for me, I'll be about buy-in. I'm probably not going to end up with too much. I'm not even going to try and get all of them to collect them all because there are just too many sets. All right, well, cool. Well, thanks for watching. Until next time, if you can't be yourself, at least be Batman or Lego on.